You're listening to The Monetized Mom, the podcast that teaches moms of faith how to monetize their expertise online to create influence, impact, income, and more importantly, financial independence. I'm your host, Flo Alexander. Let's chat. Hey mama, if you are tuned into this episode, you're probably looking to grow your coaching business. Well, you are in luck. I just released a new training on how to launch a high-ticket program that clients will pay thousands for, even if you don't have your program created. Now, you can access it now at themonetizedmom.com/training. That's themonetizedmom.com/training. Again, that's themonetizedmom.com/training. Now let's get on with the show. Well, hello, good people, and welcome to another podcast episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to grow and build your business as a mom, if you are a full-time entrepreneur, or if you're a full-time employee. Then I'm going to be sharing some things that have been working for me lately. Now, I know I did a podcast episode on this before, but I thought it was worth revisiting because I have changed some things in how I approach productivity, and I did productivity with air quotes. So, if you are in a space where you are trying to balance growing your business while also maintaining a career and also your family life, here's some advice and kind of tips that I will give you based on what I'm currently doing. So just for context, if you are new to me, I am a mom of two. I have two toddlers, and I am a full-time entrepreneur / full-time work from home mom. So most of the time my kids are home, and I'll talk more about that as well. But nonetheless, that means my time is very limited. So when it comes to my business, I have to be very strategic and streamlined about what I work on and when I work on those things. So I am also, I guess in full disclosure as well, and it really isn't anything like top secret, but I'm also one of those moms that I don't make my kids a part of my brand or a part of my content. So I know for a lot of moms, being able to build your business, especially online, and when it comes to content, is a lot easier because they involve their children. I do not involve my children in my content. I am very serious about my children's security and safety. And then people are just crazy on the online space. So I would say if you are also of that thought where you don't want to make your children a part of your content, then this is going to be applicable to you. Now, if you do want to make children a part of your content, then it makes things a little bit easier because you're not trying to do things when things are quiet. You're not trying to have everything, a certain level of polished, I would say. So if that's not what you want to do, then by all means, you can definitely do whatever you want to. But these tips will definitely be applicable to the people who just don't want to use their kids as a part of their content. And you can do whatever you want to do. Let me just say that you can do whatever you want to do. It's just my conviction and my approach to it. So anyway, so one thing that I have been doing lately when it comes to being more productive in my business is I've been doing brain dumps. Now, I actually I've heard of this before, but the idea and thought was really solidified with a interview that I did with a productivity coach, Sade Kelly, over on my Instagram. But we did a live stream together and she was talking about brain dumping. And so after that conversation, I really took that kind of seriously, and I started doing it myself. So when I do a brain dump, essentially what I do is either Saturday or Sunday, or even before, like the week prior, what I will do is I will sit down and write out all the things that I need to get done for that upcoming week. And when I think about the upcoming week, I'm thinking Monday through Friday, right? So either on Saturday, Sunday, maybe even the week prior when I know I have a lot of stuff that I need to get done or I haven't finished in that previous week, I'll write out, I'll do a brain dump and I'll write it in my notebook and I'll list out everything that I need to get done. So for instance, I'll write down, hey, I need to record 3 podcast episodes. I need to record 3 YouTube videos. I need to edit those YouTube videos. I need to write emails. I need to do whatever it is that I need to do for that week. I will write those things down. And beside each of those items, I will write what day that I want to get them done based on my time capacity for that day. Now, this is based on my schedule. So if my kids have something to do, or if I already have something on my calendar, say perhaps I have like a nail appointment, or if I have an interview that I'm doing with someone, I know that those days are very limited. So I will organize and write down what day I'm going to get stuff done based on my existing calendar. Now, the way that I do my existing calendar, I will look out for the month. I actually plan at least a month ahead on big things. So there are a few things that are recurring every month for me. Like every month I go get my nails done. Every month I go get a facial. And certain days of the week I have client calls, right? Certain days of the week I have my group coaching call. Certain days of the week I plan live streams. So there are things that are recurring on my calendar that I plan around. So when I'm talking about the small tasks that have to be done in my business, I'm planning around those big things that have been planned like a month or even more in advance. Like I know in advance, when I go get my nails done, I already plan out a month or two in advance, right? When I get my facial, we already know what the schedule is for that. I already know what days my client calls are going to be and what times they're going to be. I already know what my live stream schedule is going to be, right? So those things are already established, and it's the smaller tasks that I need to get done throughout the week that I fit around that. The other thing that I also plan out in advance is like when I'm filming for YouTube, because I already know that I'm going to do like bulk recording. So maybe 3 or 4 videos within that day. So I already know I need to block a day off. So I will do that even a month in advance, where I see I have a clear space in my calendar. I will block that day off for recording. So now it's like filling in the blanks for the other things that I need to get done within my business. So if you haven't tried this approach, I would definitely say for your bigger things that you need to get done. So say you're having a masterclass or a webinar, or you're going to do a live stream, things that you have a consistent cadence for, go ahead and plug those into your calendar. And then the smaller things that you have to get done, those are things that you can come in later, and then you can fill in the time by doing a brain dump. So I found that to be most effective for me. Now, when it comes to the actual day-to-day management of my task, I don't like being restricted. So one thing that Sade actually talked about, and some things that I've tried before, is like time blocking and like writing specific times that I want to do things on my calendar. I absolutely cannot function like that. Like something about my brain is like, no, this is bondage. This is like, you want a life of freedom, and me telling myself I got to do something at a certain time. If it's not like an appointment, I cannot, my brain does not function that way. So I don't necessarily time block. This is why brain dumping for me is more effective. And just saying what day I need to get it done helps me out, because I know when that day comes, I can figure out where it's going to fit in my schedule. Like if I have a large amount of time, like for instance, right now I'm recording this podcast episode. I know within a few minutes, I need to get up and go to a nail appointment. That was on my list of things that I wanted to do today. I didn't have a specific time. I just knew it was going to take me around maybe 30 minutes, probably less. So whenever I had that time slot, I was going to take advantage of it and do the recording. Now, some other things I will say go into that. Like I know that I am at my peak performance in the morning. So if it's something that requires a lot of my brain power or a lot of my creativity, that stuff I plan to do in the morning. So for instance, when I write my emails out to my email list, I do that in the morning because that's when I'm like at my peak when it comes to thinking, right? So you also need to be aware of where you are like emotionally throughout the day and your energy levels. There's a book about this, and I think I may have mentioned it before, that talks about like budgeting your energy levels. But nonetheless, I also look at my energy levels. If I know that by the end of the day, I'm going to be spent, I'm going to be tired, I don't want to talk to anybody, then I'm probably not going to schedule time to record my YouTube videos, or to even record a podcast episode, or to even have calls with people, because by then I don't want to talk to anybody and I just want to like chill out and relax, because I've already spent all of my energy and my brain power in the morning doing those things that were top priority. So I would say even during the day, after you kind of plan out what you want to do during the week to be productive, when you get to those individual days of things that you want to do, think about how to prioritize that based on your energy. So if today is Wednesday and you know, hey, I want to record a podcast episode, I want to record content, and I want to like write emails or whatever, then the order that you do it, maybe I'm going to write my emails early in the morning before my kids get up. I'm going to record my content in the morning when I'm kind of fresh and my mind is fresh and I have high energy, and then everything else may be later that day, or I may have to move it to another day because I ran out of time or something like that. So I know a lot of people when they talk about productivity, they talk about time tracking and all that stuff. I've tried that before, but to be honest, like my tasks vary so much throughout the week. Like me doing time studies and time audits and all that stuff wouldn't necessarily make sense because no 2 days or no 2 weeks are the same. So with that said, I like my approach. I feel like it's more free for me. It allows me to be flexible, but it also allows me to still get things done because I am conscious of the time that I have without having to put it on the calendar to time block or whatever. That literally I cannot. I tried it, y'all. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Once I see that on my calendar, I'm like, no, because now I feel constrained or whatever. So I feel like this way gives me flexibility while still getting things done. Now, I will say that I work with moms who are still in their careers. Some of them don't want to leave their careers. Some of them honestly want to have very good careers and very good businesses. Nothing wrong with that. But with that said, knowing that I'm talking to people who are still working and not everyone is a full-time entrepreneur like me, you obviously have a nuance in that you're also balancing a full-time job. And so how do you do that? And this is one of the things that I work with my one-on-one clients with, is like balancing what that priority looks like. And we talk about, okay, what does your schedule look like? What do you have going on? How do we shape the business around what your existing life looks like, right? So some things that I will say to that, though, is that if you are in a full-time career, you actually have an advantage. And I know you're thinking, well, if I do this full-time, I'll have more time. When I tell you, when you do this full time and you have that freedom, there are other things that you want to do. Like I'm home. So that means I want to be able to clean up my house. I want to be able to relax. I want to be able to go, like you want to enjoy the freedom that you have that comes with entrepreneurship. A lot of times you think that you're going to be more productive. In reality, you're actually not. So I would say that you actually have an advantage when you are in your career because of the limited time that you have. That means you are required to do more focused work. So you are more focused and you are more streamlined and you're going to get the things done that need to get done, and you're not going to do things that are just irrelevant. So you're not going to waste time. Like if I have all day, like I can fiddle faddle. That's my favorite word to use. I can fiddle faddle and do things that are not important because I have time to waste. But when you're in a career and you have limited time, you're like, no, I'm going to do this live stream. No, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, or at least you should be doing that. And I find sometimes people just don't know what they should be working on. And that's where having a coach and someone who can guide you will be helpful. But nonetheless, you do have that advantage of where your time is limited. So you have to be focused. And when you're focused, you're going to be able to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. So with that said, the other advantage of being a full-time employee while building your business is the fact that you have the additional income to be able to outsource some things. So one of the things that I will share is like I actually outsource some of the things within my business. So like scheduling content is outsourced, pulling data. So a lot of the administrative work is outsourced to my VA team and my support team. So I will say though that I'm footing that bill straight from my business. Whereas if I had a job, like that's extra money that I could just use to put towards that and not have it affect my business. Well, technically, like you don't want to mix personal and business, but I could at least fund my business. Like the income that I have from my career could fund my business and pay for those things. So if you are working your career, that income you can use within your business, like fund your business, and you can pay for a lot of this stuff to take off your plate. Whereas people who are like me, full-time entrepreneurs, like if the business ain't making no money, you still got to pay these. You still got to figure out how you're going to pay these bills from your business. So anyway, I would say that's an advantage that you do have, is that you can actually outsource some things within your business. So the administrative tasks, scheduling things on posts on social media. If you want to, having people help you with content creation, editing, all those things, you have the advantage that you have the income that you can invest in your business to pay for those things to help free up your time. I think it's important to understand that you have to flex your business around your kids. And one way to do that, I think, is the brain dump, and then looking at your day and figuring out where you can fit things in and doing it there. So that's my tips. That's my advice of what I've been able to do recently that's been effective in helping me build my business while also being a full-time mom and having a life. Like, I get my nails done. I go get my facials. Like, I go get massages. I did not leave my career to not enjoy those things. I left my career to be able to enjoy those things and still be able to build a profitable business. So hopefully these tips were helpful. If they were, be sure to leave a review and a 5-star rating. And then send me a message on Instagram at @TheFoAlexander, letting me know what you're doing to be able to build your business while working a full-time job, while having kids, and maybe if you have additional questions that I can help you with. All right. As always, I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. And with that, I'll talk to you in the next episode.